All right, hey everyone, Micah here. I just want to talk to you real quick about the bird rings that, I'm sure a lot of bird owners, maybe you're watching this video, you're a bird owner or have been a bird owner, and you know what it's like when you get a bird from like a breeder or a pet store, and they'll have this little ring oftentimes, probably 90% of the time they'll have a little ring, and this isn't shaped like a ring right now, it's kind of pulled out, pulled apart, but this little metal ring or plastic ring that can be around their leg to identify like their birth date and maybe the breeder or something like that, right? Some information about the bird, which may be helpful for some reasons, and you might want to have that information. Maybe if your bird's ever lost and somehow retrieve your bird or something like that, maybe it's a way to identify your bird in some respect. But it can also be irritating to the bird, and she was always irritated by it. She is always like I said, her name is Tori, by the way, but she was always irritated by having this on her leg. She'd always be playing with it constantly, right? So, and we've had her for a while, but I went ahead and decided, hey, look, it's time to try to figure out how to remove it. And I was thinking about the vet and all that stuff, and, that seemed like a little overkill, but also to get the proper tool, right? The proper tool that would normally cut something like this open. It got a little pricey, not particularly real pricey, but the only place I could even find it was in Europe, which I'm sure there's some U.S., seller, but the only place I could find it online was from like Germany or something. So that would take a while to get here, and plus only using it once, it was kind of, a little disturbing thinking about doing that. But what I did is took a pillowcase, right, and I draped it over her, got her gently onto a bed where I could like drape her with a pillowcase or a sheet, something like that. In that case, it was a pillowcase, and was able to hold her gently and grab her leg, put in, holding it against her body and just holding it in position to where I could get this ring. And how did I get it off? I didn't use pliers. I didn't, get the special tool. But what I did is just simply use my fingers, right? It's metal, right? It's metal. It's going to be a little tough to pull it open. Maybe might be a little hard, but if you just pry it open, you can probably get it off with just your fingers. So you might consider trying it, and it might be the safest method to try in terms of, you're not probably going to have to worry about pliers cutting the bird's leg. And don't get me wrong, if you're careful, you probably, can avoid doing that in general. But if you have a smaller, delicate bird or a more anxious bird that's, harder to manage, it might not be easy, right? But if you can possibly pry it off with your fingers enough and pry it open, if it has a gap, right? There's no gap in it. If it's like a solid ring somehow, which I don't know if they have like a so where it's really like close together, and you can't get your fingers to open it up with your fingernails or something like that. You kind of just gently pull it open, don't hurt yourself. But maybe you can pull that ring open just like this, and this ain't the best video. But pull the ring off, and that way you can get it off. And so I was able to get it off her, and now she's a freer bird. I don't want to say a free bird, because she's still here, but, you get the idea. And maybe a little less irritating for her. So hopefully she'll, have a better days from here on out, and maybe you'll try this to remove the ring if you're deciding to remove the ring from a bird that you have. Let me know in the comments below. Maybe like and share if it, maybe it's helpful. If you decide that you try this, maybe you were thinking about the same thing and not sure what to do, and maybe you try this, just simply opening it up with your fingers. Carefully, of course. Very carefully, right? Not to hurt their leg, but maybe you can just pry it off with your fingers. It's just a thought. Do it with caution. Okay, thanks for listening in. Like, share, and comment. Let me know what worked for you, or if you try this, if it works for you. Thanks again. Bye-bye.